Okay, hi, my name is Samantha Sheldon and I'm just going to be performing a bed change and a bed bath on my conscious patient. So I'm just going to go ahead and start, okay? So I'm going to knock. Hi Jane, how are you today? And she says, oh, I'm doing pretty good, I'm just a little weak yet. I said, yeah, that'll get better with time. And I say, Jane, I know that your family is going to be coming today, and I think that we should just get cleaned up while we're at it and get her linens changed, make sure everything looks good. And she says, yeah, I agree, let's just get her done. So Jane, I'm just going to first check your ID badge, make sure that we have everything, and she states she's Jane Doe 1216 of 76. Looks perfect, Jane. So I'm just going to wash my hands and get my gloves on. So I just have my basin here full of lukewarm water, Jane, and we'll just get started. I'm just going to put a bath towel on you just to make sure everything's covered and you feel kind of warm. And she says, oh, that feels wonderful. I'm just going to make sure my bed's up at working height also, so I don't break my back doing this. Okay. And Jane, I'm just going to put a quick towel underneath you so, we just don't spill anything or something like that. You know how that goes. And she says, yeah, I know how that goes. So I just put this down. So I'm just going to start. Sorry, Jane. I'm just going to start by doing Jane's face. Well, I'll start with the eyes. So I'm just going to put this in my lukewarm water. And Jane, I'm just going to go from the inside to the outside of your eye on the bottom. Use a different part. Go from the inside to the outside on the top. Grab a new washcloth. Go from the inside, from the top to the outside. Use a different part of my rag. Go from the inside of the bottom to the outside. Looks perfect. So I didn't use any soap, so I'm going to grab a new washcloth and just rinse it off just a little bit. And then take a towel and dry it. Does that feel okay, Jane? And she says, yeah, it feels great. So anyways, since I just touched Jane's eyes, I'm just going to take my gloves off because there could be crusties in the eye. And I'm just going to wash my hands and put on a new set of gloves. And then we'll get started on your face, Jane. Okay. Always feels good to be cleaned up, doesn't it, Jane? And she agrees. It feels really awesome to be cleaned up. Okay, now I'm going to do the whole mitt thing here. And I am going to, this is in warm water, and she does want a little bit of soap on her face. She does like her soap, so I'm just going to clean her face, clean her forehead, clean her cheeks, clean the bridge of her nose, clean behind her ears, and clean her neck, because sometimes, you never know, little crusties can be down on your neck, when you're in bed. So anyways, I did that. Now I'm going to grab a new towel again, put it on, rinse it all off. It's all rinsed off. And then I'm just going to dry it off, Jane, while we're here. Just pat it dry, make sure all the areas are dried. Looks really good, Jane. You're looking great. Okay, Jane, I'm just going to start. I'm going to remove this. I'm probably just going to take your linens off while we're here. Just pull them down so we have all that ready to go. So I'm just going to take these sheets off, put them in my hamper over here. All right, Jane. I'm sorry, Jane. I'm just going to take out one of your arms here, trying to keep you as covered as I possibly can. Okay, Jane, are you doing okay? And she says, yeah, I'm doing fine. So I'm just going to put this towel underneath her arm. Just make sure it's good under there, Jane. I'm going to do my mitt. It also has soap on because Jane wants to use soap on her body. So from her wrist, I'm going to do long strokes upward to her axillary area. Just do long strokes. Also going to get right in that armpit area because you want that smelling great, right, Jane? And she agrees. So we're going to do that. Grab a new fresh cloth and then just rinse it off and rinse it off and rinse it off and rinse off that armpit area. And then, well, since I have this right here, I can just dry it off. Looks great, Jane. Jane, I'm just going to go ahead and just do your hand care right away. Is that okay? And she says, yeah, that's great. So I'm just going to, again, take a soapy rag with lukewarm water. Just rinse her hands off. Make sure they're all clean. Get in between them. Make sure everything looks great. Then I'm just going to grab a new fresh cloth and just rinse it off. Rinse it between her fingers. rinse everything off so everything looks really good. And then I can actually just use this to dry also. Just to dry. Okay. And I'll just take a new one too and just dry in between just to make sure I get all between her fingers. And for videoing purposes, I'm not going to go to the other side and do this, but in real life, I would do the exact same thing on the other arm. So Jane, I'm just going to clean your chest area now. I'm going to try to keep you as covered as possible, okay? And she says, yeah, it sounds great. So Jane, did you want soap on your chest too? And she says, yeah, that'll be fine. And I put a little soap on here. And then I do it with the back of my hand, clean under her breast area. Just make sure it's good and clean. Then again, I get another cloth with lukewarm water and just rinse it off. Rinse her stomach. Careful not to get into the peri area. So clean that off. And then Jane, I'm just going to quick dry. Just to get them dry. There you go. Everything looks great, Jane. You're doing awesome. So Jane, at this time, I'm just going to probably take your gown off. Just to make everything a little bit easier. And I'll keep you as covered as I possibly can, because I know that's very important. Okay, and this will go in the hamper. And then I'm just going to go down to Jane's leg area. So I'm just going to keep her as covered as possible. Get her leg out here. And just put another towel down. Okay, Jane, I'm just going to put your leg under this towel. Okay, how are you doing? You doing okay? She says, yeah, I'm doing great. So I'm just going to put some soapy water on this. And again, long strokes upward, not getting into the peri area at all. Just long, gradual strokes. Make sure to get everything clean. Everything looks really good. Okay, now I'm just going to grab a lukewarm cloth and rinse it off. Rinse it off, rinse it off, rinse it off. And then, luckily for me, I have a towel right here just to dry her off. And okay, so Jane, I'm just going to switch my gloves here because they've been on for a little bit. And I'm just going to wash my hands again and put on some new gloves because I'll be doing your feet care just next. So how are your grandkids, Jane? She says, oh, they're doing great. They're growing up real fast. And I said, I know how that is. I have a 3-year-old and I can't believe he's 3 already. But boy, they're sure fun. And she agrees that kids are really fun to have around. So anyways, if I could get my glove on here, Jane. Okay, we're just going to go right into foot care. So I'm just going to do the mitt again on my hand with soapy water and just clean her feet really well. Clean the sole of the foot, clean in between the toes, make sure they're really clean. Do that. And then I'm going to take just a warm washcloth and then just rinse it all off, get in between the toes again, make sure everything looks great. And then, Jane, I'm just going to dry it off. And actually, I can take this. This is going to be clean, by the way. And then just dry her toe off, dry in between the toes, make sure everything looks really good. Looks great, Jane. And for videoing purposes, again, I would do this on the other leg and the other foot if I was doing this in real life. I'm going to take that out. Okay, Jane, how are you feeling about your peri care today? Do you feel like you can assist me at all? And she says, no, I don't think I can today. I'm feeling pretty weak still. So that's totally fine, Jane. I'm just going to change my gloves again and wash my hands, and then we'll get started on your peri area. And I would obviously make sure the curtain is closed while I'm doing all